Wrong mic. Wrong microphone. There we go. Sorry about that. Like I said, we'll let a few more people get on. Yeah, it went live when I just pushed a button over here, and I was waiting to have another live thing update me. But anyway, the big storms you see, this is a huge MCS that rolled across Kansas. And I'll just kind of take this. I think I've got the right one here. Big storms. We're going to talk about our weather here in just a second, but just pretty amazing what the atmosphere is kind of set up here. You can see an area of low pressure inside of the back edge of this storm as it's just plowing into Springfield, Missouri right now. That area of low pressure is right back in here. And this is going to continue tracking east-southeast. It likely will not make it in here tonight. So I get another look at these thunderstorms just producing quite a bit of damage here earlier today across Kansas. And they've actually got a few more storms back in western Kansas as well, back on the back edge here. Down here to the south, looks like we've got some strong thunderstorm activity down here near Tuscaloosa. What is that? Expires in 5. Oh, that's, again, you can't see it because it's on a different radar site. So let's check our weather real quick. It's going to load it. So yeah, some nasty storms down here in and around Tuscaloosa. That severe thunderstorm warning expires in about 4 minutes. This is along the boundary that came through here this morning and just kind of fell apart. So this boundary, I'll put that into motion here. Let's see here. Again, this is some new software I'm kind of trying out. I'm not overly impressed with it though, because I don't think it's going to allow me to loop this. Oh, it is, but it's not very good. That's not very good at all. It's supposed to be a 3-hour loop, but maybe since anyway. But these are all moving away from us. I want to talk a little bit more about the storms coming here tomorrow. Yeah, I got to get my sound figured out. I had the wrong button pushed. I thought I had the right one on, but I didn't. A second echo. Oh, windows open, my bad. Yeah, so again, we had the echo problem last night, but okay, where did that go? I was looking, I had stuff already over here. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to talk about is kind of the pattern, how it's going to be changing, and then talk about what we're expecting tomorrow. So I'm going to switch this over here. So here's the forecast. I think I can just do one picture-in-picture here. That's a pretty big picture-in-picture. Let me change where that location is. There we go. Put me down at the bottom. So as we go through this, this will be midnight tonight, and you can see all the activity staying to the south. And I kind of got some pauses set into this, but we'll be in the 60s. Those storms down to the south, you're probably going to be able to see them from Phil Campbell and Red Bay and Double Springs as you look south. And I know some people refer to it as heat lightning, but there's really honestly no such thing. It's just that you can't hear the thunder. In the summertime, you see the lightning a lot farther away. The storms are a lot taller in the summer. So here's where we get into our forecast for tomorrow. And I'm going to show northeast Alabama and parts of Middle Tennessee in a second. But as we get towards the noon hour, that boundary is going to start lifting back to the north. There's also an upper level low. So you can see how robust the thunderstorm development is. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few isolated severe thunderstorm warnings for the potential for some damaging winds and maybe some larger hail. But I just don't think there's a huge threat for that type of weather. We're going to have a lot of lightning and very heavy rain if the forecast models verify. Here's around 3:30, so between 2:30, 3:30, picking up kids at school, things like that. It's going to be fairly active here. The way it looks, again, new model guidance will come in overnight, and meteorologist Eric Burke will have the latest in the morning on that. But by 5 o'clock, we start to see this activity lifting to the north. Notice the yellow arrows, those are the wind directions. So more of an easterly wind, so that's going to reinforce the rain-cooled boundary that comes in with those thunderstorms. So then the atmosphere kind of recharges, and then we will kind of do it all over again as we get into Thursday. Thursday looks very similar. So let me show you this other thing here. This is going to be northeast Alabama. We start tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. here. We're in the low 60s, maybe a little bit of fog, but the ground's really not all that saturated. We had a lot of fog this morning because that whole boundary was coming in, and we're watching that. But 7 o'clock in the morning, still mostly cloudy at times, 68. We're going to warm into the mid to maybe even upper 80s again tomorrow. And you notice by 11 o'clock, still no signs of storms here, but we know, as I just showed you, they're just a little bit out to the west-southwest. Those will start coming in. So here come the thunderstorms by about 1:30, moving into Smith Lake, southern Coleman County, and on their way to Hartselle and Arab down to Boaz, probably by 2:30 or so. Again, the timing is always in question when you're dealing with these types of storm setups. But 3:30, pretty heavy rain from Coxie. They're on Wheeler Lake and Decatur down to Hartselle. And definitely Smith Lake seeing some heavy rain at that time. Then the rain is on the way into Guntersville, probably around 4:30. Here's 5:30, heavy rain. We're talking an hour and a half, 2 hours of some locally heavy rain. The storms themselves track, the boundaries tracking northeast, but the individual storms are going to be tracking almost to the north and west. So we'll have to watch for some stronger thunderstorms. Again, smaller hail, a lot of lightning, and very heavy rain, just because there's going to be a lot of available water in the air for these thunderstorms here that do fire up. And you can see here's 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. We're still looking at some thunderstorms over the Henniger and Scottsboro, Stevenson, up to Chattanooga, and over to Winchester. So what I want to show you now, this is going to be the overall weather pattern. This is at 500 millibars. So what you're going to notice is in Southern California, there's an area low pressure there, and that's going to track across the four corners and eventually lead to perhaps an outbreak of severe weather from eastern Colorado into western Kansas and up into western Nebraska. Around here, what we're watching is this upper level low. This is tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. This is going to trigger a round of thunderstorms that I just showed you. This area low pressure is moving east-northeast, and the other one is moving east-northeast. But the cooler air, the setup for severe weather is more likely with the secondary low that's out in the Rockies. So you can see it kind of in red here. I've kind of put that area where we're going to have more thunderstorms. And then as we get into Thursday, we'll likely see one last little swing of energy from that upper level low, and that will increase the chance for showers and storms once again Thursday afternoon and evening. Notice out there right over Denver, that little kind of a green circle, that's the cold core to that upper level low, and it looks like it takes on kind of a negative tilt too, and that would increase the threat for severe weather. So I would expect tornadoes, damaging straight line winds, large hail, and significant lightning out there where they need it. They need some heavy rain. Here comes the pattern change. This will be Friday, right around the noon hour or so. What we start to see is that area low pressure kind of riding up around this ridge of high pressure, the ridge of high pressure building across the southeast, and that area low pressure that's going to bring severe weather to the plains. Well, it may bring a few more up into the Dakotas, but it's going to kind of start filling in, we call it. And then notice the area high pressure really starts to build, and that's why our storm chances Saturday, even Friday for that matter, are probably going to be more isolated in the afternoon. And we've been dealing with these MCS, these complexes of storms lately. But notice by Sunday, if the model verifies, that big area high pressure is going to be helping us out. So Mother's Day, it's going to get hotter. We're going with a high near 90 on Mother's Day, but I don't think we're going to have a lot of stormy weather to have to deal with. So there's some good news there. So right now, the severe weather, again, it's out across Missouri. We've had a few of those strong storms here in Alabama as well. As you take a look down towards Tuscaloosa, I'd say they're primarily just dealing with a lot of very heavy rain there right now. And I can actually switch. It looks like that warning has expired there. I'll go back down to Tuscaloosa on another radar source here in just a second. So I'm going to switch this up here. See what we got going there. There we go. So this is the thunderstorm activity happening to our south. Again, this is, if you're watching this after I've finished the broadcast, this is around 8:48. So big thunderstorms down south along that boundary. Probably going to have some flash flooding if that continues because they're barely moving down there off to the south and east. So one look there. I'm going to switch this back. We're going to go with this format here. So that's basically what we're looking at. I'm going to get back open to a screen where I can see your questions. I probably should have changed that over here. Again, I'm just trying to get all the logistics down of what I got going on. Let's see some of your questions over here. I got my camera in the way too. Yeah, impressive light show in Birmingham tonight. Yeah, you can see they're probably up to 50,000 feet in the air, and that's why you can see them so well. I'll thank y'all for the comments. Again, we'll get it all figured out one of these days. Again, for you new to the channel, we got 25 of you on here now, but what we're looking at is some thunderstorms, a round of thunderstorms tomorrow. And then we'll probably get another round coming back in as we go on into Thursday night. And then we get settled down with these isolated storms. But when nothing says summer like these big thunderstorms we've got going on in parts of the state. Again, the ones you see behind me, those are around around well, to the side. Those are around Tuscaloosa. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to head back into work and get ready for the 10 o'clock news.